Hello to everybody watching and listening, and welcome back to some more Mechabellum. Playing with Giant Specialist Crawler Stormcaller start against Team Massacre here, who has Crawler Phoenix Elite Marksman. So this is a game where I think that sometimes it's just unlucky. Starting with Stormcallers into someone who has Phoenixes is basically just you are being hard countered from the start. It's, I think, one of the unluckiest combinations of units, right up there with starting with Crawler, with Crawler Mustang into somebody who gets Arc Lights at the beginning. But at least when it's that kind of start, you can actually purchase something. You can also purchase Arc Lights. I can't really purchase without having any chaff clear. I can't actually purchase, like Marksman. But I also really can't purchase something like Fangs, because the Arc Lights will just steamroll them anyway. It's simply a problem that there is very little on the board that these Stormcallers fight decently well into. They do get my opponent's units down on this side, the ground units, most of them. But unfortunately, the big XP pinata of the level 3 marksman here gets to live on like 25% HP. 25% HP. I did kind of forfeit the first round simply because I didn't see a viable way that I could have done this. So I was kind of hoping I could at least get this marksman. I am getting myself a nano repair kit, although right now I don't have units to use it. It shouldn't be all that bad. I mass recruit. After 2 Arc Lights, I'm getting... I think I got another marksman. Simply so that I have some anti-air. My opponent is going for additional Phoenixes and additional Crawlers by the looks of it. Or no, he did get an additional Arc Light and a Crawler, an additional one, and another set of Phoenixes, I think. He didn't take a module though, or any other thing. He skipped, I think. Round number 2. The Arc Lights are definitely helping with the chaff clear. I think I positioned them well here so that they can immediately start working on these Crawlers and don't even have to move a tiny bit. But unfortunately my opponent, of course, also has better chaff clear, and he about has the same chaff that I have. Then it's all up to the Phoenixes, and the Phoenixes just wipe the floor with everything else. I do get the Arc Lights, but overall it still is 600 damage, I think. Round number 3. Nothing really here or that interesting for me, I think. All just expensive stuff that I think you are better off skipping. I still have this nano repair module, nano repair kit that I should be using. And I definitely want to use it. My opponent adds a 5th pack of Crawlers alongside a 4th pack of Phoenixes, I see. Well, I'll make that a 5th pack. I do drop an additional Marksman, some Sledges, and hoping to tank behind these Sledges. The Marksman goes here, and unfortunately my opponent gets lucky and hits this missile right on 2 of the Stormcallers and all the tanks with the item. Which I think is just one of the worst lucks, really. There's no way that he could have known that I would throw it here, I think. I even think he positioned the missile before I positioned my Sledges, so there isn't even any way that he could have hacked this to just make it ultra obvious how this is. This time around, my side here is pushing through, which I think is definitely an attest to how well my army is starting to work against his. But the unfortunate part is that he does get the tower degradation, and all of my units are nerfed. Do get some more Phoenixes out. The Stormcaller here gloriously missing the tower. Another bit of bad luck. My opponent is getting the Sabertooth here. He definitely spots that I have nothing to deal with this. I don't have the DPS to cut through these about 4500 HP being restored per second. I do also drop the Sabertooth, so in theory I would have something to counter it, but my opponent has a lot more DPS on the board than I do. Well, maybe. The Stormcallers are doing good work, but he can just shut them down as well. I do throw up some Fangs simply to guard against enemy missiles. In general, I don't think they are bad in this specific case. And I still have over 1,000 left and thinking what to do here, because I'm really kind of at a loss what to really do here. Additional marksman. And anti-air specialist, yeah. I also am very annoyed that I put this asymmetrically. Range on the arc lights. Definitely a bunch of text coming out, but cheap units overall, so I think I need to count that as a mistake. I think maybe fortresses here would not have been bad. In any case, this arc light is doing its job well. It's not doing its job so well that it is starting to target the saber-tooth that has been placed, I think, in a good position here. This side is kind of breaking through, but now everything is locked onto this unit, which they can't realistically kill. I do end up kind of breaking through, yeah. So this side is now actively winning. Some phoenixes are being sniped, but it's not enough. I do get the tower, but that is about all that I will really be getting in this match, because the entire rest is just the marksman as the fastest unit, kind of just pushing ahead. And, well, the rest is kind of clear. There is not even enough DPS if this thing were to stop firing to take it out. It is just too powerful. Not a lot of health damage in this round. It's getting less currently. Another nano repair kit. My opponent takes it, and I think he put it on the saber-tooth here. I also take it because, well, why not? I definitely realize that I need to do something about this saber-tooth here. Like, it cannot really be allowed to live, because it will kill everything in time. There's nothing really that I can do about it. My opponent is getting the arc lights and the arc light range and range on phoenixes as well. I am getting some melting points. I sold the tanks here so that I could get some get the nano repair kit here back and put it on the melting point so that I have some health regenerating units of my own. I mean, I have the modules, they weren't that expensive. I think this is overall not a bad use. And who knows, if this melting point can continuously kill the saber-tooth, if he doesn't sell it, that thing might just level up really quickly and become really powerful. Since I lost the tanks here, I definitely need some additional chaff clear. So I throw up another arc light. And by the looks of it, it might even be carry arc lights that my opponent is going for, so I didn't really want to, you know, fight into that. This missile here was not intended to be as brilliant as it becomes, because it is enough damage to kill the marksman. So that thing is taken out of the picture, but something else happened here. I'm not entirely sure what it was. I would have to watch that again. But the arc light is stuck on the tank, and there's nothing to deal with the crawlers, which is just super, super unlucky. However, the same thing happened here, so maybe it's not unlucky, maybe something specific happened. Maybe that interacts with the range text my opponent has, I'm not too sure. He completely steamrolls me here, and that is all exclusively on the arc lights. Now round number 6 rolls around, a bunch of items. My opponent, I think, takes the heavy armor and puts it on this saber, yeah. Not a bad use, I think, overall. I go for the photon emission because I definitely need to start winning some rounds here. And I do drop additional arc lights, and I think this is definitely a mistake. No, multiple mistakes. It is multiple mistakes at once. For once, the issue wasn't that my arc lights were too little for the amount of chaff he has. The arc lights simply were not in the correct position. And where do I put my arc lights? You guessed it, in the same position. I also go for temp range, which is exactly the opposite of what I want, kind of. I want this saber-tooth to stay about as far away from the firing range of my arc lights as I can keep it. Or did I buy temp range last round? I also go for more chaff clear against a player which really does not have enough chaff to justify that tech, but I didn't know what else to use my money on. So this arc light, as you can see, instantly locked on the saber-tooth second and third arc lights, all locked onto that. And I don't think I need to really show much of this. Let's just accelerate a bit. You can just see my army being completely steamrolled on all sides. Crawlers didn't help anything. So yeah, the last round I definitely threw a lot. But at the same time, I think it's also fair to say that my opponent just... He got a bunch of really lucky... he got a lucky missile here. He got basically a drop that I can't just counter with something. I need to take very drastic measures such as a melting point. He also started with units that completely countered everything I had, basically. Um, adding the arc lights. I don't think there is anything that I could have realistically done to win the first round. Um, I think, yeah, I want to complain about this, but not too much. I've said this before, but I will hopefully not get tired of saying it again. I think right now the starting packs are the worst RNG in the game. And I know that I'm probably in a very, very small minority of people thinking this, but the main reason is that I think with unit drops, you can always at least try to counterplay and predict what your opponent is doing. With the starting units, you have no counterplay. The only thing that you can even remotely halfway predict is which specialists your opponent might take based on which specialists you don't have, but that also doesn't really tell you anything important. So, in my opinion, random starting units are the worst kind of RNG simply because it puts one player ahead of the game, and if they just don't give any openings and you get a bit of bad luck. Admittedly, I did throw the last round, but realistically, I also wouldn't really know how to win the next round into this sport. Probably with some staggered arclights, there could have been a smidge of hope to even survive at least a bit. But realistically, at this point, my opponent, I think, just outscales me. Yeah, I think this is the worst RNG that you can get, and then some bit of a bad luck on top of that, and the last round I just threw. That was on me. But once again, thank you for watching and listening. These matches happen, and I think it's important to analyze them simply to pinpoint your mistakes. And the last round was absolutely atrocious. I think everything up to the last round was chasing after the opponent who simply adds more problems that I can't fix in advance. So yeah, thanks for watching and listening, and until next time.